All right, so Kuro, do you
Like,
still want to
from salt and
observe, or
smoke.
do you want Yaku to observe? What are you feeling like? That's not an answer. Okay, all right.
Yeah, for those of you
That's
who
fair.
can't quite hear, we are hearing the boop in our ears. So I wait. It was supposed to be my job to relay whatever Kuro types. Yes, she will observe. Oh, she's gonna observe. What do I do?
That means, Yaku, you can take a little bit of a break. You can rehydrate, get some water. And
My mom has been asking me, "Yo, what do you want for dinner?" So I should probably look through that now.
yeah. Don't be gone too long, though, because this is probably going to be a 5-minute game.
Yep. So it always happens. All right, I will see you guys. Oh, no, you know what I can do, Light? I can copy paste it in chat.
You can.
Alrighty, then.
Demi is getting flustered.
Senpai! Alright, I did think that I was gonna intro Kuro, but I have a feeling that's one of those times where she's not gonna unmute until I leave, so
Hello
I will
there.
see you guys. Hola! Welcome, it is group!
Now let me
Enjoy the
quickly
chat.
change everything, all the casters, everything. Someone changed, whatever.
Wait, that can be my job, that can be my
wrong.
job! That can be my job!
It can't be because I have casting too, so rip.
Oh, well.
So yeah, would you like to start?
All right. Yes, and here we are finally loading into game number 1 of this best of 3 right here on Nightshade LE. We have spawning in the top left-hand corner, the Australian Terran representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
And in the bottom right corner of Nightshade, Nightshade LE, also known as Belladonna. It is the Red Zerg player, known to us as the Demi Shark, going against his, I guess, is it a nemesis if he's mostly winning? Against his rival, let's put it like that. Against his rival. It is the Red Zerg player, playing for Downfall Gaming and representing India. It is Demi. Going for hatch first.
Demi is going for a hatch first. Demi is the red to Azure being blue. It's a Pokemon reference. They actually are red and blue as well, so that's fitting.
On that note, I would say.
Game paused.
Wait, we can talk. It's a pause.
We can still pause. The game is paused. We're not paused. It's okay.
I literally stopped moving at the pause. I was moving my
Please.
hand, and when the pause started, I stopped my hand in the air. I am paused.
You're like, freeze,
Yeah,
something is happening. We can't move.
I literally freeze as the pause comes in. I'm not even joking. But yes, what I was gonna say was that I appreciate that Azure picked the light blue and not the dark blue for Nightshade. Yes.
Yeah.
Watch me miss everything anyway.
More of an Azure color, if you will.
Sure. What is an Azure color? I have to look it up.
Yeah. I think Azure is actually darker than this,
Yeah,
but
I think it's
it's fine.
darker. Yeah. I should know that as a graphics person. God damn it.
Yeah, as a little bit of an introduction, because Yaku didn't get to mention much, but Kuro, she is behind the scenes. She is usually our observer. She handles production as well for some of our events, and you can redeem some points, some lily pads in the chat to get Kuro to cast.
We have to find a better name. We really have to find it.
Yeah, we can do better than lily pads. We can do better.
I was gonna go for
some
quacks, but it didn't sound good.
Yeah. No, quacks is great. Redeem some quacks. I like it.
So what you're saying is, for if you quack 16,000 times, I can cast. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. Gotta be an active duck.
Demi's micro is on point today. And as I say that,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
link dies.
Exactly.
No, but
One of the links did.
Yeah, but last time, I remember last time we were casting, I think it was also Demi versus another Terran. It wasn't Azure. But like his micro with the links is pretty good. Like
Yeah,
always
yeah.
pulling away the hurt ones.
I mean, last week, Demi, he did play against Hut in an earlier round, if you recall, and he did take out Hut, actually, right? I know I made a mistake getting you to recall your memory. I set you up for failure.
Blink twice for help.
Yeah. Demi, he did play against Hut last week, and there was a lot of hype around Hut because Hut, he did win the week before. He was a royal voter in ESL Open Cup, so it was really impressive to see Demi take him down. And I'm sure Azure was watching, and we'll see how his old rival, his old nemesis, does against him.
Yeah, have they played against each other recently in any tournament?
I
I
don't
don't think so.
think so. Yeah.
Because it used to be
It's been a
like
long
their
time.
matchup, like they would meet constantly. So what is
Yeah,
this? That's a medivac with a cloak.
I love it. I love the idea behind it. Demi isn't going for an Overlord Scout though. Like it's meant to trick your opponent. Like, ooh, I'm going Banshee with Cloak, when really, like we have a medevac coming out, and Azure is even denying the Overlord Scout as well. So
Or maybe it's gonna be a Banshee.
Yeah.
He's not cancelling it.
Oh.
He's not cancelling it. There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just a medivac
Yeah.
first.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, why not?
So it looks like he's going for a Hellion drop and followed up by Banshees as well.
And the Overlord was just killed, so Demi actually doesn't see this drop coming.
Yeah. To be fair, Demi, I believe he did see the 111 with the tech lab on the starport with his Ling, so he should, and he is getting spores for
Yeah,
the
he's getting
Banshee,
spores.
but yeah, so that'll be fine against the Banshee, and he even confirms that sending another Ling in, but he doesn't know about this Hellion drop, so the Hellion drop could deal a lot of damage.
Wonder, is it gonna go to Demi? Looks like it's gonna go to the main.
Yeah.
The links are the
He's
key
sneaking
though.
all the way into the main. Yeah, Demi,
The
nicely
Overlords
done. He
are
does
top.
have, the Overlord spot everything. He is ready. He is prepared. He even has Queens at his third base as well. He's completely shutting this down. And yeah, Demi so far,
But on the front
pretty solid
lines,
play.
never mind.
Yeah. I mean, that could have been a good opportunity for Azure to dive in with his medevac if he distracted the Queens and then drops in the third as well. We'll see if he decides to go for that, as he still has the medevac just chilling there.
Yep, just hiding, just waiting for the moment.
Oh.
Nope.
He's like, oh, I'm going. Nope.
You thought I did, but I'm not.
Uh-huh.
It's just more and more Hellions coming. He's massing Hellions. There's nothing but Hellions in production.
You know what I've just realized? This may be the longest game you've ever casted.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
I had a
Not yet?
14-minute one.
What? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
Oh, and the Hellions dive in, and oh, they turn into Hellbats as well. So, but there aren't any drones for them to kill, and with these Banelings,
The Baneling, I mean, they walk in, they waddle in. They don't
waddle
really
in.
roll. But in the main.
oh, but the drop went into the main.
Yeah,
The drop.
Demi was focused on defending the third, so everything just went to the main. But the links are, drones were pulled. The links cleaned up the Hellions.
Yeah, and honestly, that was really well done by Azure. 14 drones went down in that, and it was really nicely done. I don't know if it was worth it. He did lose a lot of Hellbats in that to try and get that damage done.
Only 7.
But
actually.
regardless,
I mean, that's still a lot,
only 7.
But
and the aggression's not done.
yeah, the Banshees are here. The Medivac is still there, by the way, with 2 Hellions in it. So when these Banshees are distracting Demi, like, he can go in at any time.
It does lose one of his Banshees, and the Hellions do get
Hellbots are
cleaned up.
dead.
Yeah, the Hellions do get cleaned up. So decent defense there by Demi, but what's important is that Azure was able to, like, more or less equalize the worker count, and that's never a good thing for a Zerg player.
Like, looking at Azure's drops, run buys, and so I'm starting to go back to Steel Squad. This is the Terran army, you invested in this Terran army, and now it's gone.
but it's worth it. That's the thing.
I thought that was
this
a
weird
Zerg
dynamic.
playstyle, where you just throw units at your opponent.
Look, that's why everyone loves watching TVZ. They always go back and forth. They always trade armies. And yeah, Azure, he's going very heavy in this Hellion style. It's just a little bit surprising because normally you see Cyclones mixed in as well for Ferrari
this
mech.
is just pure Hellion Banshee. I mean, mostly
What do you
Hellion. The
call this?
Banshees are just chilling.
Yeah, if Hellion Cyclone is Ferrari, then what's pure Hellion?
NASCAR. Does it have to be a brand? Because I just remember how the pros call them race cars, and I just can't get over that.
Yeah, they just call them cars. They're just the cars.
Yeah, I'm taking the
we
cars.
We
I'm
need some more
taking the
cars
cars
over here. Yeah.
What? It has a name.
Oh, and with Blue Flame, like this group of Hellions are actually pretty scary, especially against the Ling Bane composition that Demi has gone for.
Yeah, and this is a double prong with the Banshees on the other side.
Yeah.
So the Queens
And
can't
there's not
focus
Banshees.
on... Yeah, the Queens can't focus on defending one side because they're needed on both. But guess what's
And so
coming?
he's relying on his... Yeah, and he's relying on his Lings, which don't deal too well against the Hellions, as the Hellions do dive into the fourth. They are trying to find more damage, and it looks like they're all going to get surrounded.
No, not exactly. Now they will.
Yeah, they
Still,
all
a
get
lot of
cleaned
links
up.
go down to that. Like that was
Yeah,
pretty good micro from Azure, hiding between buildings.
Yeah, and I do like this from Demi. Like he is transitioning into roaches, which is more ideal against mech armies. You don't really want Ling Bane. It doesn't really trade too efficiently.
I mean,
what I'm a little bit worried about
You know what other
is
building
that,
he has, right?
yeah, I was gonna say that it hasn't quite been scouted. I do like that Azure, like, this is smart if there wasn't a Spire. Like he's gonna be able to snipe the Hydroden, and you gotta feel so good about that once that happens.
Yeah.
But really, there's like another story, you know?
I mean, it's Demi we're talking about. Azure has played Demi so many times that he should really expect it. At this point, you just expect it.
But at the same time, he could be being tricked because he saw that Hydroden, like, very rarely you see both thrown down at the same time. So maybe he thinks, oh, he's going Hydras. I sniped the Hydras. Like he's stuck on Roach Tech. So like I'm ahead right now. I should be feeling really good. Transitioning into that higher quality, that higher what is it, brand? Ferrari brand?
It's McLaren. Damn it.
I don't.
Get your
Terran
memes
Lloyd
right.
isn't here.
No,
Yeah, we
that
do
was
have
Stews, that
Cyclones
was
mixed in. There you go. And honestly, Cyclones do okay against low amounts of mutas. We'll see how much Demi commits to this. Oh god, the drop!
Tight.
Went down.
Just tight. But anyway.
Did. Yeah, meanwhile, we've got a Banshee hit squad. Someone at Lumia. Again, we need it in here.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Banshees today from Azure, actually. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of Banshees.
Oh, the transfuses are just on point though. None of the queens are going down. And what about the base though? The base is getting pretty low and you can't transfuse morphing buildings.
It's cancelled. Also, I want to point out, as Demi is attacking with his Roach army, that he did not go for Mutas. He's going straight to Greater Spire.
Yeah, kind of surprising, but we'll even need it. He's pushing into the main army. There are only 2 tanks here. If the bios are good, they're going to go down. I think Azure can just hold maybe with the Banshees.
It's tough, but yeah, the Banshees will clean up.
Yeah.
Demi doesn't want to risk losing everything.
Yeah, I mean, he may lose everything anyway because there's so many Banshees.
Exactly. I mean, the queens are here. Saves pure advantages.
Yeah. The queens waddle in.
He's making second
manage to
Spire.
save. I think do you think that's a mistake? Or do you think he just really wants upgrades?
No, I think it's upgrades. I actually think it's upgrades this time. This time, I think it's upgrades.
Yeah, the last time we saw it, it was a mistake. Just, so
And before
we'll
it's
see.
a mistake.
I'm a little bit worried for Azure because he is still sticking with this army. He hasn't seen the Spire, he hasn't seen the Greater Spire, he doesn't know the transition, and because of that, he doesn't know to switch to Thors and Vikings, right? He's gonna need that anti-air so desperately.
He saw Corruptors, he's making Thors.
Yeah. He saw the Corruptors.
On that note, part of me really wanted to see a battle with Banshees versus Broodlords. That would be the most awkward battle.
There's enough Banshees to kill all the Broodlings. Like so the Broodlords are just not doing anything, just floating.
And they just like stare at each other, it's like, please.
But with this, like Azure, it's so important that he scouted those Corruptors. So now he is getting his anti-air. He's getting 4 Thors at a time. That's insane. And we're getting to the point where both players are starting to max out.
Yeah, and I believe Demi has a few Broodlords somewhere on the map. Quite here. Where are they?
Yeah, he has a couple of Broodlords. He's slowly building up. Yeah, he's slowly building up that higher count. He has to be a little bit careful though, because if he commits too much, then like he wouldn't have too much to support the Broodlords. In saying that though, I was thinking like if there were Vikings or something and there was no other anti-air, then they'd be in trouble. But it is mainly a ground army.
This army doesn't look that big actually from Demi, but
you say that, but transfuses can be so important in this.
True, Queens could, yeah, True likes Queens for a reason.
He does. Queens are very sexy. And this CC, it does finish up. He's gonna have to lift it though. It's gonna go down, and
it's dying.
Yeah,
it's dying.
It's dying. But Demi, he's pushing in. Oh my god! But he's losing so much. So much of his army just plummeted there. And
the Banshees are cleaning up the ground army, and without support, Broodlords are not gonna do that well.
Yeah, it's just Broodlords and Queens. That's it. All the Rich Ravager just went down.
I thought there's not that many Thors. I mean, they're trickling in one by one and are taken down by Broodlords. So maybe Demi can just push through.
Yeah, he has enough. There's not enough anti-air. There's only 1-2 Thors, and they're not even a part of this fight. So these tanks are gonna be going down.
The problem was that the Thors were just coming in one by one. So like Demi would just take one down, and like then another one comes. Like they weren't together.
Yeah, and the repair wasn't there fast enough, and it was also the transfuses, like the Queens, after the Banshees went down, they were constantly transfusing those Broodlords, keeping them alive, and it looks like Demi has just enough to break the meching Terran here in Azure.
He's not
These
giving
Broodlords
up,
are going unhindered.
He's expanding to more bases.
Oh yeah, like Azure, as long as he buys enough time here at his 4th base, then he can muster up enough army to hold up the ramp, but the supplies may just be too different. He needs tanks as well. But to be fair, the Queens are out of transfuse energy. But the Lings come in, they get a surround of the Thors. Yeah.
And the Thors are mostly focusing on the Lings instead of the Broodlords. But the Broodlords are going down one by one.
Yeah, some of the Broodlords go down.
Even the Corruptors are trying to help out.
The problem is that if these Thors die, then that's it. Like, this one, it looks like...
There's more Thors coming.
Yeah.
The Thor production is on point from Azure.
He's just been making 4 at a time, and he had just enough to push Demi away, but now, like, he needs so much time to rebuild his army. Like, his army was basically reset, and now Demi, he has like an entire half of the map to himself. He's reproducing everything. He's working on his upgrades, getting double air upgrades at the same time, as we were saying earlier.
Called it. And before it was a mistake and he just used it.
It's possible. And with this, Azure, he has to turtle up as hard as he can, but he's getting attacked on the north and the south, both of his bases.
Yeah, just single Lings.
Yeah.
Oh, the CC.
The repairs. Is it enough? Land. Oh god, the SCVs are in the way.
What are the Queens doing here? Hello?
Look, they just wanted to be a part of the fun, okay?
Yes.
They wanted to be involved.
Yes, they wanted to be involved. A Sturge army is coming in, but...
Yeah, and but without Broodlords, I think Azure may have enough army here to push Demi away.
I mean, Ravagers are not armored, so they're gonna die to Hellions eventually.
Yeah, and what's a little bit weird is has Demi rebuilt his Broodlords?
I don't think he has any right now. Let me see.
Yeah.
No, there's no Broodlords. There are Corruptors, but he didn't remake the Broodlords.
Yeah, and I think without Broodlords, I kind of want to give the edge to Azure right now. Like Demi, he has the tech available, but he also screwed himself a little bit. He's maxed out, so he actually can't make Broodlords,
Yeah,
even if he wanted to. Yeah,
Someone else
yeah.
did that before.
Yeah, Miyamaika. And the Lingbane crashes in. All the Lingbane goes down. We just have Roach Ravager, but yeah, there's just enough here. There's nothing to protect the tanks.
Yes. GG! Demi wins game 1. I'm not a hype caster, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
This is, are you like Cyril? I am enthusiastic.
I am very excited to be here.
I am very hip.
This is so
GG
exciting.
has
It's
been
almost
called.
as cool as being in the finals. It's so fun.
There's so much emotion within me right
To be
now.
honest, in the past year or so, Sarah has been more active
Yeah.
emotionally, to put it that way. I've heard him laugh several times. Okay.
Yeah, I do want to attribute that a little bit to the pro community, the pro scene, like Rainer and all that. Like they've all kind of taken him in, and he's socializing more.
I don't know if it's just that we didn't know about it before, but it feels like they're a lot closer nowadays. But that said,
Yeah, I mean,
it's game 2, and I have to go.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be. It's game 2, and we have a cast, and I was gonna mute myself again.
No, go Yaku, go Yaku, go.
All right, we are coming back here.
oh, and something that we completely missed. Thank you so much, Dacian, for the raid. Normally Kuro lets us know about that. Thank you so much.
that
We
how
really
it's pronounced?
appreciate it. Yeah. Sorry, Dacian. Sorry, Dacian.
I've been calling him Dacian, man. I don't know. And speaking of not knowing, here we are. Gonna be coming in onto game number 2. Gonna be starting off on Simulac Rum. Yarhar Fiddly LE by the C2 for 3 with me, buddy. If you are, then you're gonna have to get ready. Throw away a key, slap your knee, and get hype. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the Australia base, if you will. It is going to be Teal Terran, all the way from the land of Brisbane. He is going to be representing Legacy Esports. We have Azure.
And
Hi.
Yaku, this is the traditional matchup that we've had on this channel. We've casted them many times, and this could be the last time we see it today. Do you want to, after that long break, do you want to introduce the shark himself?
Well, you're going to have to be coming down up here into the top left-hand corner of the map. Spawning in on the top left-hand corner of the map, it's going to be the Texas area, if you will, the Texas base, as that is what it looks like. He is going to be our Red Zerg, all the way from the land of India. Back in his element, he's back in the sea. He is the shark himself after a very, there's a word that I'm thinking of, but I can't quite think of it, but a very, fairly convincing, it's kind of like convincing, but not really convincing, you know what I mean? It's a convincing, but not. We have, representing Downfall Gaming, it is Demi. See, I tried to do a Texan thing at because we were going in the top left, but gave up on that.
When you were starting that, I'm like, what accent is he even doing? Like, what is happening right now?
I gave up on that halfway, but apparently my throat didn't.
Yeah, and He is the shark himself. I feel like we need a command. I don't know why we haven't had it earlier, but like a exclamation mark Demi command that gives that clip where where the Demi shark was invented.
Where people who, for the uninitiated, such as the viewers coming in from Dajan's channel. Once again, shout out to Dajan. There is a reason that we'll have Jet find that clip somewhere. But for now, we're gonna be. But for now, we're gonna be looking at what's in front of us in this particular game. And so react to swap here coming out from Azure. Yep, missing.
Were you watching that previous game, by the way?
I was.
Okay, because
I'm gonna be honest. Most of the time, I was trying to look for a good copy pass up, but I was watching.
Yeah, Azure, he went for kind of an unorthodox build once again, like harnessing his inner Lumia, going for that Mass Banshee Hellion style, eventually transitioning into Ferrari mech. But it was really cool to see. It was something unique that I haven't really seen before, where you go 1-1-1 with the tech lab, you get a medevac first and then a Banshee, and then you go for like Banshee and Hellion drops at the same time. It was really cool for him to see him like make it work, because he got a lot of worker kills. But despite that, Demi, he was looking solid, as you were saying.
I'm not along. Solid. That's the word I was thinking of. Not convincing. Solidly.
Solidly convincing.
No, not convincing. Solidly. But yeah, we do see a little bit of the sort of earlier variation of this Hellion, this Hellion lib sort of build coming up from Azure. He is just trying to get as much scouting information as he possibly can. Does see a lot of links, which could be an indication. Is doing a very good job of cleaning them out. So probably isn't too worried for the time being.
Yeah, and I do like that Demi, he is getting some safety spores down in position in his main, in his natural, as well as that Liberator is coming in. We'll see how much damage it can get done with Queens, with spores. It's looking to be a little bit unlikely, but Azure, he does save it in the end, so he can dive in whenever he sees fit.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, Azure is going to have to be sharking around for angles, but again, it's something that when Azure pushes into Demi with a little bit of a smaller force, this Liberator is usually something that can slip the Zerg player's mind.
Yeah, especially because like you don't necessarily have to go for the mineral line. Like we were talking about it yesterday, I believe, how Liberators they are one of the only units that can completely destroy like larvae and eggs. So like even just sieging it up on top of a hatchery can do well.
Yeah, because they don't like. Well, for one thing, the actual single target damage on a Liberator is insane.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it ignores armor or not, but it almost feels like it is. But for 2, it doesn't retarget.
Yeah.
Every time it kills something.
It's quite powerful. So we can see it diving in. Kind of interesting that we see a little bit of a trick there. Azure, he did siege up his Liberator in the corner, and that means that it will stay there even if he F2s. So that's from my experience. That's why I've seen some pros do that. So it stays there.
That's literally the only reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it actually is a pretty good tip, especially in this sort of early game where you're not really relying on your army hotkeys too much, so you can get away with all armying.
Yeah, and this is basically a way to bypass one of the issues which comes with that, which is like pooling, like harassing units back home and things like that. So it is a little bit of a tip if you're a Terran player out there, and you can use this even at lower levels. So yeah, it's nice to see, as we do have Azure coming out here with a bit of a drop.
That we do, and again, it's kind of interesting to me that Azure is going into the main base. Oh no, he's going for the 4th location. Don't mind me. No, he's going for the main base. No, he's going for the 4th location. No, he's going for the main base. Yeah, he is going for the main. So yeah, typically you would see a bit of a multi-prong with the Liberator, but I'm liking what Azure is pulling out now. He just wants to have a bit of a safe zone to allow all of his Marines to unload, and that is something that I think a lot of Bio-Terran players, if you've tried to drop, you know just how annoying it can be to sort of have these Zerglings pick off your Marines one by one.
Yeah, I like how he's using it as basically like an anchor point to protect his drop and to make it more inconvenient for Demi to deal with. So he is dealing a fair amount of damage with this, been fairly efficient with his trades, as, yeah, again, like,
He's just baiting more and more links into the Liberation Zone.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
It's really smart, to say the least, as Azure, you know, he is macroing up behind this. I'm a little bit worried, though, because I don't think Azure has scouted the Spire.
Yeah, I don't think this Liberator is going to be staying there for much longer, not with 6 Mutalisks on the way.
Yeah.
Nice sniping coming up from Azure on top of these Banelings, but in the end, I don't think he can sustain this. Or can he? Or can he, like...
Ooh.
No, he can.
Yeah, and I do think it's very important
Does should take out most of those Marines.
that he does. Everything gets cleaned up, but it's so important that the Mutalisks, they were forced to clean this up instead of moving out across the map. So this gives Azure time, as we do see him start those missile darts. He had no idea that Spire was on the way, and because Demi was forced to show his hand, now Azure is able to prepare accordingly, and now he knows about the Mutalisks.
Then, you know, it is Demi. He is known for these Mutalisks, as we do see that
Very true.
Azure kind of inadvertently went for a bio mine composition earlier, quite early on. Like, maybe it's because he saw a lot of lings and, you know, mines are generally the spawns instead of tanks, but either way, things are looking up here for Azure.
Yeah, we'll see, as there is a lot of Ling Bane Muta here for Demi. He's just diving in.
It's coming into the mines, but the mines not actually getting those connections that they want. Banelings do manage to crash in, cleans out quite a bit of the bio. In the end, it's about an even trade, but Demi has chased Azure away. These reinforcers are going to be quite a bit of a pain.
Yeah, and as Demi does this, he is now fully saturated on 4 bases as well. Azure, he is a little bit behind there in the economy. Hopefully, there it is, he does start his 4th base as well, so he's expanding behind this. And at the moment, he's just trying to keep Demi busy, trying to stop that creep from pushing out further across the map.
Oh, he's trying to bait these Mutalisks. Watch it, Light. Watch it.
Ooh.
Okay, not going to work out when there's an Overseer.
Yeah.
But he's going to try anyway.
Yeah, Azure, he has to be a little bit careful. You know, there isn't too much support here. As, yeah, it does look like Demi, he will be cleaning up all of these.
Yeah, really good splits on the Zerglings there, and then just the main army to make sure that it's getting cleaned up. Gonna be getting a couple of Thors behind us as well. Now, you can't quite abandon mines at this stage of the game, or at any stage of a when you're facing a sort of mutiling Bane composition, but it is a good idea to get the Thors to protect the mines. It's kind of weird, right? You get the Thors to protect the mines, you get the mines to protect the bio, you get the bio to protect the Thors. It's synergizes pretty well.
It does. I honestly, I really like it, especially because all 3 of these units are pretty good against mutas regardless. Like mines, marines, Thors, they all have their anti-air as opposed to going for a more tank-heavy style. So Azure, he has like adjusted his composition quite nicely against Demi's composition, but we'll see how it works out, as already 7 workers have gone down.
Yeah, nice multi-pronging coming up here from Azure. These drops. Ooh, that was a kill on that hatchery.
Yeah.
And that is not something that Demi was planning to have happen to him.
Yeah, that was actually pretty huge. The one thing that Azure doesn't quite know yet is the timing on the Hive. The Hive did just start, so that is a tell on what the next step will be for Demi, as he will be transitioning, I imagine, into Ultras. We'll see if he decides to throw down a Greater Spire instead. You know, he does have that available to him as well.
Yeah, you really can go either way at this point as the Zerg player. I don't think a Greater Spire is going to work out too well, especially since, again, Thors are being produced by Azure, but it's not unheard of. If you can, again, we talked a little bit about the synergy of this sort of Terran composition. Brute Lords can synergize pretty well with Mutiling Bane, but it's quite a bit harder than Ultras.
We're in a bit of a
pretty
weird
much
position
unopposed here.
Yeah, but at the same time, all the Banelings went down in the middle of the map, so this could have been an opportunity where Azure could just push into the fourth base of Demi, but he's being forced back home.
He's pulling everything back on home. He is just way too worried now that he's lost his Thor.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not really sure why he would be. He did see a lot of army supply go down for Demi there.
Yeah, Azure being a little bit indecisive, he pulled back, now he's pushing back in again. And yet, because he pulled back, and he gave Demi enough time to rebuild his Banelings and rebuild his armies.
That was a pretty good connection.
Yeah, some pretty nice connections here.
Though.
Yeah, I feel like Azure, he definitely had an opportunity earlier, and now, again, decent connections.
Yeah, it's doing a pretty good job of just keeping the rest of his bio alive, which is the main priority that you want out of these mines. We do see that Azure, I'm not too sure if he's scouted the Ultra Den or the Ultra Cavern, but he is starting to throw in a couple of Marauders to the mix, and that's always what you want to see in a late game for Terran.
Yeah, definitely. He is still unaware, and yeah, Ghosts and Liberators would be ideal, but he doesn't quite have that information just yet that Ultras are on the way, and the Realists once again. Yeah.
Jinx. Yeah, they're just getting so much value done. The Overseer is doing such a good job of clearing out the mines here. But that might, but not quite there, yeah.
Yeah, so many Realists just went down. 12 Realists went down, just cutting the Mulist count in half, and now Azure, he's got to feel safe enough to push out. Like, the Mulist force isn't enough to threaten the main base anymore.
A lot of these, a lot of his forces are in these very weak medevacs though. Okay, now gonna be unloading them. Nicely done. I got worried there for a sec.
Yeah, it was a little bit dicey there for a moment.
And now this is the game of positioning that is part of the reason why TVZ is the most popular matchup. We do see a massive run by coming out from Demi, and there's just nothing to get home. This is the perfect response to seeing all of Azure's army on the front. He knows exactly what's undefended.
And now the Ultras are out as well. It looks like we're into this weird base trade scenario where Azure, his army is looking strong, but at the same time, Demi, he's just rebuilding. Like, he has his economy to rebuild. Meanwhile, Azure's is in shambles.
Exactly. Azure's army, it's looking strong, but Demi's is just massive, and there's way more of that to come.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because Demi is buying so much time, even though right now maybe Azure could win a fight, Demi, he's making his stronger and stronger, and just out macroing him right now because... Yeah.
And that's one of the things to keep in mind. Azure can win a fight, which is why Demi is just playing it very cautiously right now. He does not want to throw away his army and give Azure the chance of turning this around. Now he sees the opportunity. Now he's turning back in. These Mutalists are unopposed, taking out the medevacs. Everything goes down, and... No, not WhatsApp. And there you have it. Demi, with the Kuro blessing, is going to be going off to face Probe in the semifinals.
GG, well played. That was so well played by Azure as well, because honestly, he was taking like better engagements. Like, his Widowmine connections were on point. He was dealing with the Mulus as well. It's just that last move that Demi did, forcing Azure all in, is what Demi needed to do in that situation. Like, Azure's army was looking pretty terrifying, killing that fourth base, but Demi, just crippling the economy, was able to force Azure in that position and eventually take the win.
Absolutely. You can really see just you can really sort of tell that Demi was this might sound a little bit harsh, but you can really tell that he was thinking this game. He was really you know, looking at every facet of information. You know, what is my army looking like? What is Azure's army looking like? Where's he undefended there? Where can I go into attack? Now, there's a chance that I can pounce on his army and end it now, but there's also a chance that he could just take this fight and turn it around. Very, I would say academic, but I'm not sure if that's the right word to use here.
Well, especially because at that moment, like, Ultralists were just coming out, but they were trickling out as well. So if he had fought then and there, it wouldn't have been like at his strength at that moment. And yeah, that was just, it was really well played by both players. They both were able to like showcase, I feel, their skill fairly well. But yeah, in the end, Demi was able to come out on top, and this is something that I always love to see. We have a little bit of a history when it comes to this matchup. Demi versus Probe.
That it is. The player who has won 15 Grand Platypus Opens versus the player who has won, whatchamacallit, 4? I believe it was 4, maybe it was 5 ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dares.
Yeah. We have the GPO champion going up against the ESL Open Cup champion, essentially, and there is a little bit more history there as well. We always harken back to the show match, to the show match that we
The
held
show match
between
we
the
held,
two.
and yeah, where
Yeah.
literally we were like, we were explaining, sort of before the match, we were basically talking about the history of the players. Probe was watching the stream before the match, and he was like, wait, what's Grand Platypus Open?
Yeah.
And Demi took that as a challenge. Demi thought, this is a slight upon my honor, as he fit 14-time Demi Shark.
Exactly. Yeah. And for those of you who for some context, every year we, the CranKy Ducklings, we hold show matches at the end of the year. At around Christmas time, we had one in 2017, 2018, and 2019. And in 2019, to kind of commemorate Demi winning 14 Grand Platypus Opens in a row, which is our SEA-OCE weekly tournament that we hold. It's pretty similar to this. We held a show match between him and Probe, because Probe had never played in a GPO before.
And he's rated as basically a top Australian player.
Yeah, and he's the best Australian player. So we kind of wanted this Southeast Asia versus Oceania show match, this Probe versus Demi. So we contacted them, we set it up, we had this best of 5 show match, and Demi sweeped 3-0.
It was insane. None of us were expecting that.
Yeah, it was very one-sided, and we were shook. We because again, like, there was a lot of hype around Demi, and we knew that he would perform well, but a 3-0, like, that was crazy.
Absolutely insane. We are going to be going in on to Probe versus Demi for our semifinals. We're starting off into the Eternal Empire. Now, we're about halfway across the year. I don't. It's not set in stone yet, but I have a suggestion for one of the end of the year show matches: 2v2, Justice Simon and Mio Micah versus V-Stork and Gogo Joey. Let's go.
I'm okay with doing a bunch of 2v2 show matches like that, because we've had like AU versus Vietnam as well, right? We can have Hong Kong as well. That does sound like a really cool idea. It's rough as well, because we've been casting a lot of Latin American tournaments. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Exactly. We've been doing so the Latin American community. Yes, every month they've been putting together these community events, and they did a 2v2 tournament. They did an FFA tournament as well. And we could do something with that. I don't know if you've seen the FFA map, but it is kind of battle royale-esque, as in the map gets smaller over time, and there are like these like different events that happen on the map that can grant you more minerals and things like that. So we casted this FFA with like Jim Rising and a bunch of other like Latin American pros, and it was insane. And maybe we could do something with that as well. Like there's a lot of possibilities when it comes to the end of year show matches.
Well,
or just 2v2s.
Yeah. Well, December's a long way away, so if there are any suggestions from viewers, we would also be taking them. We're going to be loading on to this game.